I said that I made 2 points. The first point is wait, let me again. The first point is I said that in their breakout nobody has done what Asake has done. Breakout here.
Definitely.
Then I said wait. I said breakout here.
Breakout here.
Nobody has done what Asake has done in the breakout here. Nobody has done this.
Breakout here.
My second point was now that forget breakout here now. In a year,
the only
let me make my second point.
Yeah, your second point.
In a year, now forget breakout. Generally, breakout or no breakout.
Yes, in a year.
There are very few artists that has done what Asake has done in a year.
So in your definition of few artists, are you saying
what you just listened to is a conversation I had with some couple of my friends on the 26th of December 2022. Now, this is not a conversation. This was more like an argument. And the argument was about Asake's, dominance in 2022 and if it could replicate the same thing in 2023. As a matter of fact, we argued to a point where we talked about if Asake's album, his new album, was going to be as much as hot as his 2022 album.
That next year, you got to prove us saying because the thing is, straight over the next year, if you don't drop at least 3 songs, you go blow. People go still call and say na fluke.
How many features you do? How many remixes? You know what fluke is?
Wait, get what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying what he has done. I'm not saying what he did this year is a fluke. But I'm saying if by next year, Asake cannot at least release 3 songs by next year, people will look at what he has done now and say it was just a fluke. That's what I'm saying.
Come the 16th of June 2023, Asake released his new album titled Work of Art. This is me apologizing to Tuni, and because he was one of the people that stood out and said Asake was going to repeat what he did and his album was going to be sweet. I mean, obviously, I didn't have, any bias to say Asake's album was not going to be interesting, right? I was just wondering if he could, do the same thing he did on his debut album with his sophomore album. And then I listened to Work of Art, and the only thing that I could actually say about the album, or the first thing that I could say was, truly, this album is a work of art. I know many of you, or some of you, don't let me use the word many. I know some of you have seen it on the, on the internet about, Asake, monotonous, same sound. But I'm going to ask you this before I continue when I want to continue. When someone knows the sounds and it does it so well and it's been widely accepted, why do you want that person to change?
They say music is life, so I give them the Chacha Music Review podcast. Turned up the volume, gave them the time of their lives. They said they wanted new artists, I gave them the Chacha Spotlight series. They wanted deep music conversations, I plugged them into the Chacha Let's Talk Music series. They are crazy about the hit makers, so I hit them with the Chacha Hit Makers series. And for the albums I know they shouldn't miss, I blessed them with the Chacha Album Review series. I created the Chacha EP compilation series, so they will have a taste of the best of EPs. They should tell their friends. You should let your family know. We should let everyone who cares about African music know. Hafeestonova is back in the game, and you can catch me every Saturday amplifying the African sounds by bringing the best of African music to your ears. I am your musical plug, the creator of the Energy Force, and this is the Chacha Music Review podcast.
Now, let me get into the album proper. Like I said, the album is titled Work of Art, and it was released on the 16th of June 2023. And the album contains 14 tracks, with the only feature on the album being Olamide. Now, the album had producers like Magicsticks, Blasiebeatz, and also P.Prime. Those were the 3 producers that worked on the album. Now, I can tell you this for a fact, that this album is an album you definitely enjoy. Now, this is my own personal preference. What I'm about to say right now is my own personal preference. In all honesty, I enjoyed this album more than Mr. Money with the Vibe. I felt like Mr. Money with the Vibe was a hit of the moment. But this album coming out by this time and seeing the improvement Asake has kept into his craft, trust me, we keep saying, oh, Asake is monotonous, oh, Asake is always using the same beat, blah, 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 blah. But it does it so effortlessly that we keep accepting it. That is the truth. Now, let's talk about Work of Art. I'll do my best to talk about each song from the first track to the last track, which is something I usually, and I don't think I've ever done on the Chacha album review series on your award-winning podcast, Chacha Music Review Podcast. But when something is good, you have to tell it and you have to say it. The first track alone, beautiful track, a very beautiful intro to the album, a very beautiful way to start the album. I love how spiritual Asake went on this track. Track number 2, Awodi. I'm not going to lie to you, I did not really feel Awodi. I felt the song was just, a bit mute, like it kind of toned down the tempo of the first track. Then 230 came. I mean, we already know 230 came out as a single, so I didn't even need to talk about. Then the best song, or let me say my best song on the album, Sunshine. Oh, sun's gonna shine on everything you do. Taking a leap from, the Lighthouse song, Ocean. Yes. Trust me, this song. Now, for those of you that are always saying, oh, Asake is monotonous, oh, Asake is using one same beat, blah, 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 blah. I think Sunshine is one of those songs that you listen to and feel like, nah, this guy is good. From the moment the song started to play, I knew that this was going to be the song for me. As a matter of fact, I played this song twice before going to the next song. And then when I went to the next song, which is titled Mogbe, I'm like, okay, fine, wait. I'm even on track 5 and my mind's already blown away already. So I went back to track 4. I played Sunshine 3 times again before I moved back to track 5, titled Mogbe. I mean, track 5 is just everything. The production is dope. The melody is superb. Everything about that song is dope. And now let's talk about track 6. The track that kind of bears the name of the album, but not exactly the name of the album. This track is titled Basquiat, which is also in relation to which the album was kind of named after the famous painter Michel Basquiat. And if you check the album cover, Asake paid tributes to him. Track 7, Amapiano, we already know what that sounds like because it came out as a single. That's the second single of the album. Then the next song is What's Up My G. What's Up My G is another brilliant song with a brilliant production, and Asake's flows on that song was also top notch. Now, I believe it's one song that I honestly do not really like, and I feel like it's one of those album fillers on the album. I didn't really feel the song. I mean, yeah, the production is cool, but I feel Asake vibe I was not really getting the vibe from Asake on that one. Introduction, oh my god, shout out to P.Primes and Magicsticks on the production of that song. I mean, when you have P.Primes on your production, there's this energy, there's this different kind of vibes, and there's this kind of melody that P.Primes brings into the production. And trust me, P.Primes killed the production of the song with the way it just took the Amapiano sound, to a different level, and the introduction of the drums and everything it brought in. Now, remember, is on that song that I also love. It's a love song, by the way. Yes, let me just mention track 5, which is Mogbe, and track 11 is also a love song, on the album. And then this is on that track that people has been calling, a lot of people says is the best track on the album. I don't know. Like I said, for me personally, Sunshine is my top track. Mogbe is my second top track. And then Lonely at the Top, after listening to the album for let's say 15 to 20 times thereabouts, I can tell you that Lonely at the Top is also one of my best tracks on the album. Now, this is on that song that doesn't sound like the normal Asake that This is an iLife infused or an iLife inspired song, and Asake definitely, killed it on this one. And the next song that follows that is also the song titled Great Guy, which, again, if you ask me, not really one of those tracks that I rate on the album. Do not get me wrong, it is a good song, but it's not one of those tracks that I rate, the album. And then the album ended with the first single that Asake released this year, with a single titled Yoga Yoga, I dey on my way, Ademaya, make nobody kill my yoga yoga. Like I said, I'm just going to do a short summary of all the songs on the album, and I have successfully done that. I never expected Asake's album to be this dope. From the moment the album dropped till date, every time I listen to the album, I keep asking myself, or I keep telling myself, I can't believe this. This is good. I always thought Asake's first album was, yes, it was dope, it was great. I'm not going to deny that fact, but I felt it wasn't going to live up to the expectation of his first album. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you this album is far better than the first album. I'm not going to say that because I don't think I can actually say that, but I will say on my own personal preference, I enjoyed this album more than the first album. And based on that, I can tell you this album, yes, probably might not outsell the first album because of the energy and the heat that our first album had, but this is a definitely good sophomore album. It's one of those sophomore albums that you look back to and you say, okay, yes, this is one of the best sophomore album that was released by an individual artist. And trust me when I say what Asake did on this album is a work of art. If you really want to appreciate this album, please block out all those noise on the internet about Asake being monotonous, about Asake using one beat all through, Asake having just one sound. No, just block all those nonsense out of your ear and try to listen to this album with a neutral mind, and then you understand and then you appreciate the amount of work that Asake did on this album. Like I said, from track 1 to track 14, every track is a good track, except from track 9 that I personally did not feel, and also track 11, remember, that I feel, but aside from those two tracks, every other song on the album were dope songs. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and members of the Chacha Nation, I would say this: if you have not listened to this Asake album, then you are doing yourself a great disservice. Please listen to the album and enjoy a good work of art. And if you've listened to the album, congratulations. Now you know what a work of art sounds like. Till I come here with another album review series on the Chacha Music Review Podcast, my name will always remain Hafeestonova, your musical plug, creator of the Energy Force. Remember, in whatever you do, keep the energy, keep it 100, and keep it positive. Peace out.
Time for the Cha-Cha gang. Give me the Cha-Cha gang. Rockin' with the best, the Cha-Cha gang. Give me the Cha-Cha gang. Alayela with Cha-Cha gang. Give me the Cha-Cha gang. What's in my body, Cha-Cha gang. Give me the Cha-Cha gang. Cha-Cha gang. What's in my body?